So we all of us have been all of us on the crew, even Jay's coming up, we all been in toxic situations, whether it's toxic living environment, toxic lifestyle, toxic relationships, right? Toxic jobs, we're all going through different things. So now we moved on to better environments. We've all of us have made some kind of change, whether it's doing more inner work, whether it's moving to a different environment. That was me. Maybe it's getting out of a relationship, someone else on the show, and so now it's like, and that's great. We should give ourselves credit. We had an awareness that was a pattern, and we made a different choice. We followed our intuition, even though it's a little uncomfortable outside of our comfort zone, outside of what we're used to. We did break negative pattern. It could even be karmic pattern in some cases, which a little bit of both, I think. Mm-hmm. And then you get to the next level, and then you feel good. Something is loud. Look at that motorcycle out.
Okay. I can't hear them.
Yeah. So then you made that change, and then it's kind of like, now what? Okay, so then you get to the environment, or you're at the new place, you made the change, which is a big step, but then it's like, now what? So, yeah. And then there's a whole new set of challenges, because even this is outside of your comfort zone. Even though it's more peaceful, you feel more stable, it's still not really, you're not used to it. You're used to chaos, you're used to whatever patterns you have going on before. And now it's requiring you to continue making choices as a new version, right? And doing the next level of inner work, which some of us might think, oh, what can be harder than what I just went through? But you were more comfortable in that kind of stuff. So even though that was good that you broke out of that, and it was a big change, there's still a whole new set of challenges because you're being a completely different person that you've never been before. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say double-edged sword, but kind of like there's a whole new set of challenges and being uncomfortable, and it's like continuing to make choices that are like that. And I think it's going deeper into the shadows, like into your shadow work, actually. Because when you have that, yeah, especially the stuff that you're doing, and then it's because it'll bring out more limiting beliefs, like, oh, do I deserve this? Oh, this is not familiar, and then you'll want to self-sabotage it. Sometimes you'll find yourself doing behaviors or thinking thoughts or feelings that kind of would bring you back to where you were at before. So it's just continuing to be aware of that and just continue, accept it. You don't have to resist it. Just, oh, you're aware that that's coming up, and then you just make a different choice, make a different choice, make a different choice. That's how I got out of addiction. That's how I got out of some of the negative relationship patterns I had in the past. It's just like, but I made a short on this the other day. I said awareness is the first step. You're aware of it. You're aware it's a pattern. You're already way ahead of the game. A lot of people are stuck in the programming or not aware of the patterns. They're just, I don't want to say NPC, but kind of just going through like a cycle. And I went through that through my addiction too. It's like I wasn't even aware. I think that, oh, that's the way I'm supposed to live, and I was just, my mind was taken over by something else. But
you kind of end up on autopilot, right? Like, so when you're in those toxic situations, you're in survival mode, you're in autopilot, you're just doing the next best thing to keep yourself safe, keep yourself feeling comfortable, familiar with what's going on, even in the unfamiliar situations. And it's really difficult because we can actually become addicted to the chemicals that get released in our bodies from those situations. So when you are leaving a toxic situation, it can be that much harder to be on top of not falling back into those old habits and patterns and not going back to the way things used to be, just because your body is screaming for those situations that would create stress in your life to get those stress hormones released, because your body's actually addicted to them. So without even realizing it, you could just be going to pick fights with strangers or getting mad at somebody at the coffee shop just because your body is used to that. Say when, say you had like a toxic living environment where someone would come home at 3:00 every single day and start yelling at you. You might not realize that, but subconsciously your mind, your body is addicted to that.
Yeah.
You're addicted to that shoot of, I'm getting yelled at now, I'm full of adrenaline and cortisol, And your body is looking for that every day at 3 o'clock, expecting that for that person to come in the door, and you're bracing yourself, but your body's waiting for that because that's what it's used to, and you're trying to retrain it away from that. So it's about having that extra step of awareness and being like, oh, maybe I'm flying off the handle because my body's used to stress and I'm no longer in that environment. So what can I give my body to calm down and realize that I am safe without being yelled at every day at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something's with the time zone, because we do this the same time, Jay, every time, and I know it's not you, but like there's something with because this has been the same time every time.
I'm gonna go get my mask on. Oh, anyway, here we
What
are.
are you talking about? You don't need a mask. I was actually going to say you kind of look like you're glowing
It's
today.
4:49 in the morning. There must be something wrong in my head. Anyway, I butted in, but I might as well chat in with this one because going through what I've gone through, I've had to rewire my brain, and it's amazing that I think with what helped me out with the toxicity and getting out of the toxic situation is actually getting some awareness within my head of what's going on, because I think as human beings we definitely want an answer. So what happened with me was I did all my my work, talked to my people and all those kind of things. And when I found out, I spent to people meeting you guys as well. So you're directly involved in this. But once I found out and admitted where I was at, I think that really, really helped, because then I could actually find out for me what the situation was, and then I could react a particular way. I could sort of what's the word for it? I was actually easier for me to actually change the processes in my head. So I've gone, okay, this is what's happened. This is how it is. I can accept that. Now what we're going to do is move on with the way that I'm going to react. And you were talking about toxic, the cortisol and all that in your body. I think that's because we're at a position where for me, was finding out exactly how and why we react that way. Okay, why it was a pattern for me. So I worked on that. So that was a deep-seated, man, that went down to the depths of bloody all hell when it came out, and that was deep, dark shit. Which was a good thing, because it actually, I feel a lot lighter after I released it. And I think as people, we have to actually look at why we react that way. Well, what's the deep-seated reason we react that way? There's nothing wrong with it in a way, but there's also, you've got to basically sort yourself out as well.
Yeah, like leaving these toxic patterns too. Like there's always an aftermath, and there's always like a transitional period of like, okay, definitely. This is where I was at, this is where I want to be. I'm no longer in the place that I was. I haven't fully gotten to the exact place that I want to be and how to get there without completely losing your shit, basically.
So exactly.
It can be really hard, right? Like you're so used to, you become really accustomed and used to like these toxic situations and toxic patterns. And like I said,
I think that's what it is, Sarah. That's what you're saying. Like, you're used to it. Your pattern goes, I'm used to this stuff. You know what I mean? This is what happens. But I think if you look at the behavior behind it, you look at the behavior and look at a pattern that has happened, because I believe obviously we know the universe puts these situations in front of us because we have to release in some way. We'll keep coming back. The lesson will keep coming back until we're into a situation where we're actually unlock the bloody cage to the bloody hell that's in our hearts or in our souls, which is what pretty much happened with me. And after I released it and actually accepted what the freaking heck happened, it was a lot easier to work out. And then you can work, like you said, when we had our session, you stuff that said, I am perfect and beautiful as I am. You can now accept that. Instead of saying you're a bloody, useless piece of shit or whatever you want to, whatever it was, you totally believe I am perfect and beautiful as I am.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around that or even start to believe that when you're in a toxic situation, because toxic
Mm,
situations lead your subconscious to believe that you're not worthy of anything and you're not perfect the way you are and everything fucking stinks. And,
absolutely.
when you're in that mindset, if everything fucking stinks, then you must fucking stink. And you know what I mean? So it's just this cycle of, if this is what my reality, I must deserve this. And getting yourself to a point of knowing, that you do deserve more. And sometimes that transitional period after you've left the toxic environment and you're now in something stable, your body will, and your mind, everything it can to try to sabotage that,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
it's not comfortable and it doesn't feel safe, even though you are safe, because you've grown
Yeah.
so accustomed to toxicity. Safety no longer feels safe to you, and you'll subconsciously start behaving in ways that will bring you back to the toxicity,
Yeah.
because that's what your
Because that's
whole
normal.
and
It's
it's
like a barometer,
that's
or
normal to you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's what's right. It's what your brain thinks is safe, only because that's what's actually familiar. Just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's safe.
We know what it is because we were in it. And the thing is, with what we went through, there obviously there's deeper parts to it. So now we understand exactly what we went through. We can say, all right, the other person does have a particular part to play in it as well. In
Yeah.
that in twin flame situation. But if you look at it where I'm out of it, I'm looking above. This is what we have to say, as Aaron Doherty always says: let go, and the answers will come. Let go and start working on yourself, and let go and look deeper in yourself, which you have. As I said, I can see white light around both of you. You both look so much different from 6 months ago.
yeah.
And that is the bloody
If you go back on the
positive.
videos on the Life Theory series, if you even go back to even the first one or the seventh one, like you'll see. I mean, my hair was even different color. Oh, I'm about to get purple hair. By the way, I'm about
I've got worse.
about to get some new hair color. It's time for a new me now.
I think I've got worse.
Update.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm getting up earlier.
I want to do something with my hair too. It's getting so long.
Oh, yeah, no, don't even go about hair. Look at this. Jesus. This is...
We don't get such long hair, guys. Look at our luscious lion mane.
I just put a hat on. Jeez, I look shocking.
We all have long,
look, I think that we've got, look, at the end of the day, we can say we've gone through what we've gone through, and you went through for so long, but there's deeper messages that the universe are giving us, and the lessons that we're doing, that they've gone, you have to go through this because, and if you talk, as I said, I'm going on the twin flame one very soon. If it comes down to romantic relationships with twin flames and soulmates and karmic partners, that's next level, man. That is next level. And being a bigger person in some ways to understand, you've got to just detach and understand and go through what you have to do. And the universe goes, yes, here you go, little boy or little girl. You'll be right. Walk through. Don't worry, I've got your hand. Trust me. Just trust me. Just do it. You'll be fine. And that's what that's what I'm learning to do.